Well, good morning, class, and welcome to our out-of-class assignment for this week. We're going to go through the Chapter 3 information, and hopefully you get some good things out of this. Our Chapter 3 is going to be covering profit margin and current ratio. And again, these are two things that help you measure how well a company's doing. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's get the profit margin and compute that to analyze how a company's performing. So profit margin is the net income divided by net sales, and this is expressed as a percentage. Here are two companies, Visa and MasterCard, and you can see that the profit margins for Visa are 36, 40, and 46, and it looks like they're doing a little bit better overall each year than those 3 years than MasterCard is, and so that'd be an indication that Visa is a little stronger company. Next, we've got something that might be interesting at a local level. We've got three profit margins of the three larger banks, U.S. Bank, Chase, and Citi, and they're all roughly 33 to 36% profit margin. Then we've got another type of business, which would be a retailer, Amazon and Walmart. You can see that Amazon's ratios are 6.88% and Walmart's are 1.97%. So the question here is, why is there such a difference in profit margins between this type of business or retailer and these banks? And if you would like, you might be able to answer this question. And if you answer this question in the form of an email to me before the assignments in this chapter are due, that is before they're due, then I'll give you up to 5 bonus points for the correct answer. Again, why is there such a difference in the profit margins of a retailer, in this case Amazon or Walmart, and these three banks? Okay, here's an example of computing profit margin. You basically take sales and divide that into net income for these 5 situations, these 5 companies. And so we'll do that. And when we do that, each of these get a percentage. That's how you express profit margin again. It looks like the company's doing the best is company C with a 43% profit margin. The company that's doing the worst would be company D with a 4.5% profit margin. Let's take a look at the second topic, which would be compute the current ratio and describe how it reveals a company's financial condition. And I may have said this before, but current ratio basically measures how well can you pay your current bills. Now, here we have another situation that is Costco and Walmart. These are two retailers, and you can see that their current ratio, that is, the current ratio is the current assets divided by current liabilities. And normally a rule of thumb is 2 to 1. But sometimes you go by industry averages. So for example, it looks like Costco from 2 years ago, we had a 1.01 current ratio. That means for every dollar they had in current assets, they had a dollar, for every $1 they had in current assets, they had $1 in current liabilities. And then it slipped a little bit to 0.98, and then it got a little better in, looks like the current year, 0.99. But in any of these years, it looks like they're doing a little bit better as far as current ratio than Walmart is. And so if you were to have to say, well, which one of these two would be the better in terms of being able to pay their bills, you'd have to say that Costco's a little bit better, but these are so close, but it's probably not going to make much difference. Now, let's go a little further. We have another exercise that, again, is like the exam you're going to have. And it'll be calculate the current ratio for each of these companies and indicate the strongest one of all these competitors in the same industry. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 5 competitors, and we have their current assets and their current liabilities, and we're going to divide the current liabilities into the current assets. And when we do this, we get a current ratio, and I'll go ahead and do all of them. And so it looks like when you do all of them here, looks like the company with the weakest current ratio is Gleason, and they've got a 0.61. That means they've got 61 cents of current assets for every dollar they have in current liability. So they're probably slow. They probably pay 30 to 60 days slow. The strongest competitor, looks like, is Edison, and they have a 2.47 current ratio, which means they've got $2.47 of current assets for every dollar they have in current liabilities. So they're the strongest. And that's all I have for now, and I hope you have a good week, and we'll talk again.